Hi, this is Dan Romance with TSP Family Office. Welcome to our interview. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I am with Barb Stackhouse today. Barb is with Profit First for Dentists. And Barb, say hi to everybody.
Dan, thank you so much for having me today. I've been looking forward to this.
It's good to have you. So let's just jump right in. We have a lot of material to cover in just a short time. Tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got into Profit First model and helping dentists.
Well, my background is I am a dental hygienist. So I've worked in dentistry for a long time. And then I got into the coaching and consulting world and did that for, I've been doing that 17 plus years. But during that time, I kind of learned a lot about the business side of dentistry. And then there became a time when it was time for me to launch my own business and go out. And right when I was doing that, I actually had a dentist tell me about the book Profit First, written by Mike Michalowicz. And so he said, "You got to read this book." I read it and I knew instantly it was something that could help dentists, but I also knew that Mike's model didn't really fit dentistry. I knew that from my years of working with dentists. So in my mind, I said, oh, I could take this concept and I could make this work for dentists. And so that's what I set about to do. I contacted the Profit First professionals and I said, hey, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a bookkeeper, I'm a dental hygienist, but I've been working with dentists a long time. And here's what I've been doing. And they said, great, you can come on board. So that's what I did. And I got certified as a Profit First professional, then went on to the mastery level. Still continue to train with Mike Michalowicz and that group and maintain my Profit First professional.
Awesome. That's a great start to the story. So recently you have written a book. Would you share some information about that book?
Sure. So yeah, I was able to write the book. Again, it's a subsidiary of Mike's book, Profit First. And I actually am a co-writer. Drew Henricks, who is a CPA, is the other writer, but I was asked to help with it. And I would say the majority of the book I wrote. Drew does a little bit in it as well, but we collaborated together. And so the things that are in that book are really, it's the whole package of laying it out how to implement Profit First in a dental practice. And so I include, why would you want to do this, and really reading through it and making sure for yourself as a dentist, hey, this fits me. This sounds like something I need. And then how do you go about implementing it? How do you figure out what percentages you should be putting in what account? And so all of it is there. My goal with writing the book was to be able to get this message to more dentists. I can only help so many myself. And having a book there for a dentist who is pretty savvy already with their numbers, I think they could probably do it. Of course, there will be dentists who want that extra help too, but the book is really intended to be there to help dentists.
Again, a great start to your platform. So what kinds of problems do you see dentists facing? And then even beyond that, how would Profit First for dentists help with these problems?
Yeah, great question. There are some common themes that I see. Debt. Most all dentists have some debt. There's school debt, there's the debt in purchasing a practice or starting a practice. So I typically see dentists have some kind of debt that they're trying to overcome, let's say. But there has to be a plan for how you knock that debt out, not too fast, because there can be repercussions to that. But also, meeting the requirements of the loan as well. And sometimes they just find themselves kind of stuck in this debt cycle. So working through that. The other big thing that I hear is dentists just don't really know their numbers. They know they're paying a lot of bills. They know there's a lot of money coming in and there's a lot of money going out. And their profit and loss report says, well, you paid this, this, and this, and then here's this big balance at the end. And they go, but I don't have that in my account. Where's that money? So they don't really understand the true cash flow. So Profit First helps both of those situations that I explained and many more, but it does it through a cash flow bank balance system. So using multiple bank accounts allows us to put money aside for specific things so that just by looking at the bank accounts, you can know where your money goes for what purpose, and you don't have to rely on confusing reports. You will know immediately by opening your accounts. So we set up a plan. That's all it is a plan for your money. And figuring out what percentage goes to what is one of the biggest things that we do to get that right. And that's why, Mike's original book, his percentages were for entrepreneurs across the board, many different kinds of entrepreneurs. Dentistry is very different than other types of doctors, even, let's say, or other entrepreneurs. Those percentages are different. So yeah, getting it set up correctly, and then it just kind of works like magic. So it helps the dentist to reduce that debt, but also at the same time they're reducing debt, build their nest egg. And I think that's a misnomer. They think that everything has to go to paying down the debt and I'll just invest later. But we all know waiting later doesn't always work out, as evidenced by the market, right? Understanding how to do both of those things at the same time, it can be done.
So it can't be one after the other. It has to be a simultaneous management and planning of various accounts to help them to achieve their financial and their profit goals.
Absolutely. And allows them to increase that profitability to then, be able to do the investing and work with people like you, who help them with tax strategies and things like that. That we have to get to a certain level before those things apply. So I see it as it's a stepping stone to the next thing.
So is it possible for a practice to really maintain the level of collections and through this proper management, increase their profits?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Really?
Yes. The truth is, every year we want to increase our revenue. And so there's always that,
Sure.
whatever, even the cost of living percentage increase. Recently that's been a struggle even because of the rising costs of all of the supplies and things. So we've got to balance that out. But even with, let's say that your revenue stayed the same, even with that, we can put a plan together and really get, serious about what we're spending our money on, making those good decisions, definitely increase the profitability. That's what this is all about.
Well, I think a dentist ought to take a look into that.
Yes, I do too, of course.
Yeah. Are there other things that you help dentists to do?
Sure. Beyond setting up Profit First, which is what I talk about in the book, in the program that I have and teaching and working and coaching with dentists, yes, we do things beyond the Profit First. We get that going, and then there are some natural steps that come after that, such as really breaking down those operating expenses into specific categories and understanding what percentage should I be spending on this and what am I spending on it? Let's see where you are with the industry, looking at the cost per procedure, but that cost has to include profit, being profitable on each of those procedures that you're doing. And then looking at, if you're signed up with the benefit plans, looking at those to see, can I be profitable by accepting this plan? And there's really only two elements, time and money, right? So we weigh those things against each other, and we really organize our time and we organize our money. So we look at those things and what the cost is, and we just put a plan together. I always say we're gonna spend money. A dental practice has a lot of money flowing through it. There's a lot of cash coming in, a lot going out. Let's have a plan for it. So we create a spending plan. Nobody likes the word budget, but a spending plan is the same thing. And let's just have a plan for where that money's going to go and know exactly what it should be. And then we have something to compare it to. We can make choices, we can make decisions, and in real time know what we're doing instead of waiting until the end of the quarter or the end of the year to find out. Yeah.
That's why they call it planning.
That's right.
Are there, do you work with dentists in a certain geographical region of the country, or do you work with folks coast to coast?
Coast to coast. Yeah.
Very good.
My training is all online. So yes, the training part they can do at their own leisure. And,
Mhm.
if they want the coaching from me, we can do that too, all online. So it certainly is much easier these days.
Yeah. And do you typically gear your services and your coaching towards um, medium to high revenue practices, or lower revenue practices, or what, is there a
It,
sweet spot, or is it just for everybody?
it really, really just depends on the dentist and what their expenses are. Now, I would say to
Mhm.
you, I've talked with the immediate startup practice who want some guidance. We can do a little bit of guidance, but the truth is, they need to get a little bit under their belt, a few months at least, so we can
Mhm.
kind of get past some of those initial things. But truly, I mean, I've helped within 6 months, turn around a startup practice and really having a plan for the money. Now, again, they needed that 6 months to get their revenue coming in.
Mhm.
So you have to have some revenue. So I will say that.
Yeah.
Um, and, I work with dentists at all stages of their careers. It may be the dentist who's been practicing 20 years and realizes, I don't have a solid plan for my future. I thought I did, but I'm not doing it quick enough. I'm seeing the need that, I need more profitability if someday I'm going to transition out of this.
Mhm.
So it can be somebody 20 years in, it can be somebody 5 years in, it can be somebody 1 year in. Honestly, it really just depends on the cash flow and what their expenses are. And we can certainly have that conversation and figure that out if it's a fit.
Very good. And Barbara, are there any final thoughts or final um, things you want to share with the folks joining us today?
Gosh, I would just say, get the book. I'd love for you to read my book, and it
Yeah.
also is on Audible, and I read it myself. So I would encourage you to either listen or read the book, and I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to, just get a message from you and tell me how you're doing. Like I said, my intention is to use that book to help dentists.
Well, I can tell the viewers today that I have listened to the Audible book, and it was very enjoyable for me. Of course, not even being a dentist, but I can just feel the impact I would have on those folks who would choose to read or take a listen to the book. So I concur.
Thank you.
Well, I wanted to share screen real quickly and let folks know of how they can contact you. And so, Bob, why don't you just kind of walk us through that, and
Yeah.
let them know how easy it is.
The easiest way to contact me is to just book a call with me. And,
Mhm.
I am not a person who is a high pressure, like, oh, this call is me, meaning, oh, you're going to say yes and work with me. This call is really for you. And it's for both of us. And I truly want to help you. So we'll just talk about what's going on in your practice. And if I can give you some next steps and some strategies, that's great. If we're a fit to work together and you're interested in that, we can talk about what that looks like. But the way to do that is just go to call.profitfirstdentist.com. That's call.profitfirstdentist.com. Choose a time that works for you. We'll get on the phone for about 45 minutes or so, and we'll just have a conversation. So I would love to hear from you.
Very good. And if those that are watching today, if you could just take a picture of that on your screen right now, then you'll have it. You won't forget it. And then you could book a call with Barb and talk more about your personal things that are going on in your practice. So Barb, I want to thank you for joining me today. Always a pleasure to speak with you, and I look forward to our next time that we can have a conversation.
Thank you so much, Dan. My pleasure to be here.
Have a great day, Barb. Bye now.
Bye.